Welcome back. We've got Overwatch drama, Korean SuperLeague started, and some Hearthstone undefeated teams this week on the Weekly Blizz. I'm Guaz, my buddy Bags.
What's up?
And we are here again to recap all of Blizzard's esports from this previous week, which there was quite a bit going on. We had some drama.
Over in Korea here.
Over in Korea. A lot happened in Korea this week, actually.
Okay.
So with Overwatch and Heroes. So let's start out with how was your week in gaming this week? Last week.
It went well. It took forever. I'm a busy person. Finally took forever, but I finished my placement matches in Heroes, and not great, but better than some of my friends. I finished in Gold 5.
He cheated. He cheesed it. He cheesed it, okay?
I'm a one-trick pony. I played Brightwing for 8 of those matches, and Brightwing's my best hero. And I went 7-1 on Brightwing. And then I think I played one match as Mouth and won, and then one match as
somebody.
Vala. And I lost, but that ended up being like a 35-minute Haunted Mines. That was crazy. And I went back and forth. We couldn't quite close the deal to win, even though we were winning a lot of the mines objectives.
Yeah.
But the team we were playing was just significantly better at team fighting, or just had a better comp than us. And so every time it got to the point where I was like, all right, team fight, it was just
not happening.
And so and then it took forever, but the other team finally kind of like wisened up and realized that they could just rush core and we wouldn't be able to defend it because we were losing every single team fight.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, so we were kind of hoping we would just get one golem strong enough to just kind of win by himself because we couldn't follow up with it. Even with the golem, we couldn't win team fights. It was bad. But yeah, man. So Gold 5, not great, but hopefully, season's halfway over. Looking to try and improve on that. But that was how my week went. How about yours? Anything exciting?
Well, I'm a silver pleb in Heroes.
So we hear.
And yeah, I played tank 8 of those games. I think my total placements went 7-3, and I think I won 6 of those matches as tank.
Okay.
And then the other one I was on my girl Li Ming, which I love playing Li Ming. And yeah, I got silver 3, and then I've played 2 matches since, and yeah, team fights weren't happening.
It's tough out there.
I was saying earlier about how I was in a match yesterday or the other day, and myself and our other damage dealer, which was Sylvanas, we died. And I took responsibility for my own death. I should have just been aware. I was pushing out our lane because the team had it pushed in pretty far.
Yeah.
And I should have just been more aware of where the other team was. They were taking our camp, and then they swooped down. They're like, ooh, look at this Li Ming. Nom, nom, nom.
Squish, squish.
Yeah. Rip.
Yeah.
And then Sylvanas died top, and then objective came up, and our tank Diablo was like, oh, yeah, let me take this 3v5. And then
I totally got this.
Instantly gets deleted. Lily tried saving him, then was like, no, this isn't going to happen. Saved himself. But then Diablo was like blaming us, like, what do you guys do? Flaming everybody, and typical Hero League, basically.
There you go, man.
And
I don't think it changes no matter where you end up, what league you end up in.
What game, anything, it doesn't matter. You're gonna have those people.
It's one of those things you gotta deal with.
Also in Heroes though, unless there's something I'm missing, but there's no comms, right? Like there's no way to
in-game comms.
Yeah.
No.
Just like in Overwatch, you join in
Overwatch was like the first game I knew that did that. So
granted, it's still terrible, but at least you can
talk to each other, and plan your demise instead of in Heroes where it just happens. With the advent of Discord over the last 2 years, we actually in one of my Hero League placement matches, because they've made it so simple, whereas Vent was always kind of like tricky, or like TeamSpeak and Mumble, there was always a little bit of a process. You have to download the program, and with Discord, it's just it can be web page based,
right?
And one of the guys that I was in one of my placement matches, I think it was the placement match I played as Mouth.
Mm-hmm.
We won, and he dropped his Discord link in the draft chat at the draft phase, and I hopped in with him, and I didn't know the guy. But, I ran with him, and, now I have a new friend. I got a new BNet friend, and we won. So
I mean, that's all well and good. I don't want to share my Discord with everybody, though, and do that every time. That's kind of annoying.
But it's nice that with the way Discord is nowadays, at least it's an option.
Right.
So
that's always something, too. So other than that, I played quite a bit of Overwatch, I'm not really feeling too much this event. The Lunar New Year. I mean, it's cool and all. Some of the skins are cool. I bought one of the May skins, the purple one. I forget what it's actually called. And I bought the Tracer skin in her highlight intro because it's the most adorable highlight intro in the game.
Mm-hmm.
She has the dragon head. She's trying to get out, and then she opens the head like, "Cheese, love." And it's the most adorable one. So I had to buy that instantly, even though I'll never get play the game on Tracer. But other than that, I mean, the Reinhardt's okay. The Anna and the Zenyatta are, again, just nightmare fuel. So I think I've actually toned down how much I've been playing so that I don't get loot boxes, so that I don't get those skins. Yeah. Just because they are so
creepy,
so terrifying. And then our friend Morpheus, he got the creepy Anna one, but then he uses the give candy emote, and it's just the scariest thing you've ever seen. In game, in this game, the shooter game that has campy, cartoony type characters, and then you just have this nightmare fuel old lady giving you candy. It's not fun. So, but yeah, I've been playing a bit of that, Hearthstone, all that jazz. A lot of WoW. Finally, a good Samaritan. So
good for you, man.
It's only taking
more than I can say.
Yeah, but yeah. Other than that, that's about it for my week in gaming. So,
all right, man.
I say we
dive into the meat and potatoes of the show.
Yeah.
Greetings, friend.
So yeah, let's hop into Heroes. What's going on?
Well, finally, it's week 3 of the HGC for EU and NA, and Korea finally started theirs.
Finally.
All right, so it was week 1 of the Korean SuperLeague, which is now the HGC over in Korea. Are
they still calling it SuperLeague, or do they call it HGC?
Well, on the website it's HGC, but I don't know what they're actually calling it in Korea.
Right. So, it's probably still they just refer to it as SuperLeague.
Yeah, because that's just in China it's still going to be the Gold League.
Right.
So, the two favorites in Korea, which are MVP Black and Ballistics, which is now known as L5. They were dropped by Ballistics. I had mentioned that last episode. Yep. And now they were picked up by a new gaming org, L5.
Okay.
And those are the two favorites out there in Korea. Both of those teams went undefeated through the weekend. All right. L5
not surprising.
No. Well, I mean, so you've got the previous the last 3 world champs have all come out of Korea. So
right.
You got the reigning world champs and now L5 Gaming.
Yep.
All right. So they went 3-0 over the weekend. They actually played 3 matches. So I believe they played Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Okay.
And then MVP Black, which was the spring champions last year, went 2-0 over the weekend. MVP Black beating the summer champions, the other Korean team that won last year, Tempest. Yeah.
Really?
They got off to a strong start, defeating some pretty stiff competition in Tempest, which is another really strong team out of Korea. They went 3-1 in their set versus them. So Korea got off to a nice start over there.
Now hopefully this season though, Tempest looks. Last season, Tempest didn't look like the reigning world champs.
We'll see. We'll see. There was a lot of roster changes too.
Yeah.
So it's really turbulent. It's really turbulent right now. Right. Things are still settling down over in Korea. So we'll see how that shapes up. But as of right now, the two favorites are still MVP Black and
L5 now.
L5. The other thing I wanted to mention is over in EU, we were all curious about how Team Expert would perform. They're starting off the season undefeated through the first 2 weeks, not dropping a single map, and finally facing some top-tier talent over there in the European region.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this week they played Fnatic and they played Dignitas. Dig, they lost 3-1. They did win the first map overall, and then lost the next 3 to Dig. They what they found was ADRD, when he gets Medivh, he's just like, it's like god tier.
Yeah,
he's
unstoppable.
Exactly, right. So ban Medivh, and now they're forced to play on equal footing. Maybe they can draft it because they had the advantage of getting Medivh. They can still get a little stronger comp, but as a team, they're not quite there yet with these top flight teams running out in the EU.
Yep.
So So what they found is ban Medivh, which gives them their advantage, right? And now they're forced to play your game. And it worked because they're not quite there yet as a team. They're still very solid.
Yeah.
All the games were close. Okay? And they're still going to be better. They're still better than all, B Genius, Synergy,
right,
Playing Ducks, Tricked, all those other guys out there in
bottom half of the league.
Correct. So they're probably going to settle in. Maybe they'll fight for number 3, but they're probably going to settle in as the number 4 team in the EU. So maybe not quite enough to make because they started off undefeated, they might still make the Western Clash.
Yeah.
But they're not they're not bad. They're not a bad team by any stretch of the imagination. And give them time if they can work out the kinks there. So they're not so reliant on Medivh.
Right.
It's a team to watch out for because they'll still have that trump card.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're only a small step behind these other teams in a traditional draft.
Right. And watching those games too, some of them Dignitas shouldn't have won.
Yeah.
Like they were being outplayed, and then they just took that one crucial team fight that they're like, all right, let's just rush core, all we can do.
Yeah, turned it around.
Yeah.
So, and that's something we get to look forward to this week coming into week 4 is Dig is playing Fnatic. Ooh. So we get to it's a fight for basically who's number 3 and who's number 2 in this region because it's them. I mean, it's Misfits and then everyone else. Let's be honest here. So, but it's who's number 2 and who's number 3. So that's going to be really interesting.
Yeah.
We're going to see what's going on there. The other thing I wanted to mention is Playing Ducks. Surprise! They're separating. Mighty Ducks is separating themselves from the also. They're probably not quite up to Team Expert, but they're a step above. I want to say like Tricked or
top of the second half of the league.
Yeah, there you go. So they're probably not going to be facing relegation either.
Comfy middle spot.
But they got off to a rough start versus Tricked.
Oh.
So what happened was Tricked got up 2-0. And mind you guys, this is a best of 5. So the first team to win 3 matches first team to win 3 matches wins the set. And so Tricked got up to a 2-0 start. And then I don't know if they got cocky or they just lost their mind or what happened. They went with the very unconventional Cho'Gall pick. And I've got it here in the notes as that Trick's choked.
Because we're here all week.
Bad jokes, people. That's what I get paid to make. What happened was they picked Cho'Gall. They threw that match, and I don't know if they went on full tilt. What happened, or if it just gave momentum to the Mighty Ducks. But it went south quick after that. They were able to make the comeback, the Mighty Ducks that is, and win their set 3-2. So we'll see.
Don't pick Cho'Gall. Is what I'm getting from that.
Unbelievable. All that being said, and filling out the bottom half of EU, you've got B Genius and Synergy, who looks like they're probably going to be playing in the Crucible. So keep an eye out on that. They're probably looking forward to they're keeping an eye on the Open Division scene, trying to figure out who's going to come out of there.
And that Open Division is really good.
Yeah,
looking really good.
They've got some former pro players down there, so we'll see what happens.
They do.
Then moving on over to NA, teammates for real, folks. Now they lost to Tempo. Tempo's still undefeated, but Tempo's the best team in NA by probably a significant margin, even though they seem to make it always close. But they always win.
They always go full series, but they win.
They win. It doesn't matter. They've been doing it for a while now.
I think they've only won one set 3-0. Everything else has
gone
gone
to 5. Yeah, it's crazy. But teammates for real. They played Tempo tough and they beat Gale Force this weekend, which was pretty much arguably the second best team in NA.
Yeah.
So teammates for real. Even though the only big name on the team is Glaurung, they're for real. I mean, they started out the season as Chew ate my hot doggy, and nobody kind of believed in them, and they were like, "What is this? Is this a joke?" No, they're for real.
Yeah,
they're good.
They have 2 former Denial players though, Glaurung and I believe Justin. I think at one point was on Denial. So
couldn't tell you. I mean, I know Glaurung was on Denial, but Glaurung's been everywhere, man. Not to throw it out there like that, but he's bounced around.
That's true.
So, and then the other thing I wanted to mention is B-Step. I think we mentioned it last week. They were going to play some weaker competition, and they had played the toughest schedule so far in the NA HGC. But I think they're finally starting to catch their footing. They looked a lot better this week. Keep in mind, 3 of the guys, former world champs, and they've got, Mac on the team as well. They've got really solid players on that team.
And he's one of my favorite NA players too.
So there you go. Maybe they're turning it around. Maybe they can still catch fire here at the end of the HGC, try and make the Western Clash.
Yeah.
At least they're not looking, if they would have had a poor weekend here, they'd have been looking at relegation.
Yeah.
So
they played No Tomorrow and another one of the, not to throw them on the bus, but lower end teams.
This past weekend they played No Tomorrow, and it was either Superstars
Team Freedom
or Team Freedom. I can't remember.
They
beat both.
Freedom. Yeah,
they beat both, so they were able to catch 2 victories this weekend. That being said, it's funny. The players on this team are notorious for not latching on to the new meta very quickly.
Yeah,
and this coming weekend is the Valera patch.
Yeah,
so everything's going to change. I don't have any predictions for how it's going to change. I'm not that high level of a player, but it's going to change.
Yeah.
And these guys are notorious for not being able to adjust to the new meta very quickly. So catching their footing, maybe about to lose it. We'll see what happens. Hopefully not. We're rooting for them.
Yeah.
The other thing I wanted to mention is Naventic, another really solid team, cannot seem to get the engine to turn over.
No.
And it looks like they'll be, if things don't change very quickly, them and No Tomorrow are probably going to be playing in the Crucible, and it's going to be bad.
Touching on that,
considering like the big names on that team too, it is like hard to believe.
But touching on that, I want to point out that if you look at the the standings, Tempo is number 1. They're the longest team that's been together in NA.
Yeah.
And they're number 1. Naventic went through a change every world championship.
They just roster turnover
over.
Yeah.
And now they are possibly going to go to I don't think they're going to go to the Crucible, but they're close. So
No Tomorrow is like almost guaranteed.
Yeah, unfortunately. But
former
Naventic player on there, Erho.
There you go. And then for whoever's going to take that other spot in the Crucible, I mean, it's either Naventic, Superstars, or Team Freedom.
And speaking honestly, I hope it's not Team Freedom because there's just so much potential on that team.
None of those guys have played on the big stage like this before, so this is great.
And their interviews after their win, they're just so happy. They're so excited.
Yeah.
And I love to see that too.
Yep.
So, I mean, speaking honestly, I hope they're not, in the Crucible, or if they are, I hope they remain in the HGC.
Yeah, win out and get to stay in the HGC.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but I don't really know too much about the NA Open scene, how that's looking.
You know what? I just had the standings up before. There's one team that's actually got a significant point margin over the second place team. And then I believe 2nd through 4th was pretty close. I think it was like 120 to 70. I don't remember the names of the teams. We'll take a look at it. When the next NA Open is coming up, we'll take a look at it and we'll talk about it on the show.
Right.
So other than that, looking forward to next week. We've got the Valera patch coming to the HGC, and that's a big deal because that's going to change everything that we've seen so far.
Yeah.
So Valera's going to make her way onto the scene. I don't know how she's going to affect the meta, if she's going to be competitive or yes, no, maybe. There's also a major rework that's really going to affect the competitive scene. Task got reworked.
Yeah, he did.
So this shield meta that we're in right now could be completely different. He doesn't have perma shields anymore. They changed that. He's more of a damage-oriented character. I mean, he's still a hybrid. He's still Tassadar. He's still shielding people. He's still throwing up force shield walls. Yeah.
Except for the fools.
He's got
Archon.
He's got his. Listen, man, I'm changing. I'm changing things up here. I'm starting a trend. I'm ahead of the curve with Archon. He's got the distortion beam, which slows people down. That's going to be baked into his kit naturally. He's going to have that from Jump Street now. All right, that's not something you have to talent into anymore. So we'll see what happens. PTR, everything's up in the air. A lot of changes can happen. I believe Valera, while she was on the PTR, she actually got buffed while she was on the PTR. So things could change. Just to give you a heads up of what's coming down the pipeline. Other than that, that's going to about wrap it up for Heroes this week. Let's take a spin down on over to Overwatch.
To Overwatch.
It's high noon.
So, in Overwatch, It's been some drama. Dun, dun.
Drama mamas?
Drama mamas. So,
baby mamas?
No. But so in Korea, it's so, it's obviously so different over there compared to here.
Yeah.
And esports over there too is
huge.
It's
gonna be huge.
Exactly. It's actually, kids over there when they say, "Mom, Dad, I want to be a professional gamer," they're like, "Cool,
go for it."
We're over here. It's like, "Mom, Dad, I want to be a professional gamer." They're like, "Shut up and finish your college application." Completely different.
Yeah, I understand.
So also, they treat their players over there too more how you see traditional sports athletes over here get treated. So Lunatic High, who's the number 1 Korean Overwatch team, they had 2 players suspended for the season of Apex Season 2 because of inappropriate behavior with their female fans. Sorry.
We don't know what they did yet, right?
All they said was they kept denying, but then there was evidence. So I don't know if the girl showed the text or what, but it's Lee Tae-jun and Dean. These are the 2 players. They admitted that they used the Korean texting app over there, which is like SNS or something. They used it to, one player requested pictures. That's all that was said. So we don't know what kind of pictures. That's all that was said. And
we're talking about young men here.
Yes.
So.
And they, would do meetups and stuff like that. But again, it's a completely different culture over there. Not allowed. Not allowed at all. So those 2 players were suspended. They apologized publicly. And then they decided, you know what? We're just retiring. So they just flat out retired from Overwatch right then and there.
I'm taking my toys and going home.
Basically. I mean, who knows? Maybe
they were forced to retire?
I don't know. They didn't give more information about it.
Okay.
And then the other top team, Africa Freaks Blue, had 2 players that were, let me bring it up here. They were, timeout. Bring it back. Oh, no, sorry. Not Africa Freaks Blue. LW Blue. They had issues with players posting things online that just weren't so nice. So both teams having some
PR issues.
Yeah, some player drama going on there.
All right.
So anyway, leading into week 3 now of week 3 of OGN Apex Season 2, because last week was the Lunar New Year, so there was only 1 day of games.
Yep.
Or sorry, 2 weeks ago, since this show is recapping the previous week. We had Kungdu Uncia versus Africa Freaks Blue. Africa Freaks Blue took 2nd place last season, so they were supposed to go in there looking strong.
Yeah.
But Kungdu Uncia, they also just look like a really, really, really strong team. Recry on AF Blue, his soldier was just looking, really, really good. But really just when he was ulting, leading up to that, there was nothing. He was no carry hook, basically, from Envious.
Okay.
Bird Ring, though, on Kungdu Uncia, just looked unstoppable. He was just he was the MVP of the match. Well, as I was watching the whole match, he was the MVP, not just on Soldier, but on his Genji, or when he went on to Tracer or McCree. No matter who he was playing, he was the game changer. He's also a sneaky, very, very, very sneaky guy. He had such great flanks on McCree and on Soldier. Just sneaky crouch and walk up to them, flashbang and kill them.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was so much fun to watch him.
See, that's how I like to play McCree.
Yeah.
And I like to roll around the side and take out 1 or 2 people at a time, and then I usually die. So I'm not a very good McCree. That's how I like to play him. And then then I get frustrated and I feel like I'm not contributing enough to the team. And so anyways.
But, so Kungdu just looked so strong. They were winning every single team fight on the first map of King's Row, where if they weren't getting a complete team kill, they were killing 4 to 5 of them. and then staggering the deaths too. They would they were like, no, we're gonna chase down this last guy and kill him too. You don't get to live here. They were chasing him down, killing them. So,
ruthless.
Yeah, exactly. On map 3, which was Volskaya Industries, Freak of Freaks finally looked a lot better. They had a lot better defense. They held they ended up losing the first point, but it was into overtime on the first point, and then they held the second point really well. On offense, they took first push like it was nothing, and then just kept going onto the second point. Got the first 2 ticks on the second point.
Yeah,
had to reset, but then they were able to take it. They ended up forcing a tiebreaker on that map because Kangdu also took both points, but a Freak of Freaks held it and ended up taking Volskaya. And now the series was 2-1 for Kangdu. They go into Gibraltar for the 4th map, and a Freak of Freaks had to win it just to tie the series. Yeah, it didn't happen. Kangdu rolled through like a Freak of Freaks weren't even there. It was just, imagine Genji while he's ulting and just slicing through the whole team.
That's basically what happened as a team.
Basically, yeah. Kangdu was just like, yep. I don't think the payload stopped at any point, to be honest.
Wow.
It was so quick.
Rolling.
Yeah, a Freak of Freaks had very, very poor positioning on defense too. They had just a soldier on top of the first point. Normally you'd have a soldier and Ana because they actually like protect each other, and then they have that perfect viewpoint down and can shoot and kill everybody. But they only had soldier up there, and Kangdu came in with Winston, was like, see ya. That didn't last long.
Yeah. So
yeah, their position was very, very, very bad. On the other side, Kangdu actually, like, their defense actually started to fall apart, and they ended up letting a Freak of Freaks take all 3 points also. Went to another tiebreaker, but Kangdu then had a full stop on the first point in the tiebreaker where the payload didn't even get past where that bridge is. Or they call it the car wash.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the payload didn't even get past there for a Freak of Freaks. And then Kangdu, when it was their turn to attack, pushed through, ended up taking the series 3-1. And it was, it's very surprising because a Freak of Freaks, like I said, they took second place. Yeah, second place of first season. But a lot of people argued, though, that they shouldn't have even been in the finals, that it should have been Lunatic High.
Okay.
But, I mean, after this showing, too, it's just, I think we're going to have to wait to see the rest of the season. But, yeah, they just look so disjointed.
Yeah.
It wasn't great. Then, in the other game of first day last week, we had Runaway versus Flash Lux. And Runaway ran away with the win. Here all night, folks. This one wasn't as competitive. They had a clean sweep 3-0.
Okay.
Flash Lux tried running a Pharah. The first map was Oasis for everyone. And the Flash Lux tried running a Pharah. And Runaway just said no. They threw their best Genji player out there, which was Haxel. He goes out there on Genji, and you'll see Genji take on Pharahs every now and then. And,
yeah, how's that work?
Yeah, so
he's kind of grounded.
Well, on Oasis, because there's that jump pad, so he'd go in there, dash out, and like double jump and dash so that he'd be level, reflect missiles, and be like, see ya. Yeah, every single time. Every time. Haxel was just like, no, Pharah, just get out of here. You would think that they would have changed, and they didn't.
They just stuck
They
with
were
it.
even running a pharmacy, and still he was just like, no, you're dead. You're dead. You're dead. You're dead. Every single time.
Wow.
It was just ridiculous. Second map went to Eichenwald. It was a lot closer. Flash looked their defense looked stronger, but eventually they just couldn't hold. Runaway, they had their DPS player Stitch. Again, another sneaky player on Soldier. He snuck up behind Flash Lux with Soldier's ult while they were trying to push, took out Pharmacy again, and again, they just had to keep resetting. They couldn't get it. They ended up having a first point hold, which is, on Eichenwald, it's easier than a lot of other maps, but still kind of rare, especially in pro play. It really wasn't a contest.
And Runaway ran away.
Runaway ran away. Second day of games had MVP Infinity versus Meta Athena.
Okay.
Very, very back and forth series. Like, this was the ultimate back and forth.
Okay.
Meta Athena took Ilios 2-0.
All right.
But those points also were contested. It wasn't straight 100%. It was like 100 to 60 and 100 to 80.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, so
it was close.
Very, very close. But then next map, Nubani, MVP, has a first point hold on defense. And they were able to push the payload when they were on attack almost all the way. So then they have a first point hold, so there you go. It's 1-1. Meta Athena then comes out on Hanamura.
Mm-hmm.
Both teams took both points, so it had to go to a tiebreaker.
Yeah.
But Meta Athena had time because they took the second point with time to spare, where MVP took it in overtime. So that gives you zero time in the tiebreaker. So Meta Athena only had to get the first point, and they did. Pretty, not easily, but it was a good push. Meta Athena's up 2-1. So Meta Athena, when it came to hybrid or payload maps, they just weren't looking that great. Yeah. But on 2 CP point maps, they were able to look a lot stronger. So it's tied 2-2. Goes the full series, five games.
Yep.
Final map, Kings Row.
Yep.
Meta Athena steamrolled through. Absolutely, just hot knife through butter.
Yep.
Absolutely. Their MVP ended up pushing all 3 points also, but Meta Athena had a really good defensive hold, and so which caused another tiebreaker. But they also had a great ult combo of Hanzo and Zarya. Zarya threw out her ult, Hanzo ulted too, and because of that, was just like, we're going to keep pushing the payload with nobody in sight, because I think they ended up getting a team wipe from that.
Yep.
But again, another tiebreaker, but they come back, they win it. So that was probably one of the best matches to watch, honestly, if you go back and watch the VODs, just because it was so back and forth.
Yep.
Then you have the 2 drama teams.
LW
Blue versus Lunatic High.
Yeah.
First map, Oasis went all 3 stages, which was, I think, the first time last week.
Yep.
LW Blue ended up winning it 2-1, but again, it was very contested. Second map goes to Kings Row. Lunatics High, I always forget how to say his name. Jaehong, I think is how you say it.
Okay.
He's the best Ana player in the world. And now, if a lot of people watch Chips Hajian from Envious, some would say he is, but even he says this player is the best. His Ana player is unreal. There's times where he did not deserve to still be alive, but he somehow was.
Yeah.
I think at one point he 1v2'd Roadhog and Diva and won. Yeah. As Ana.
Yeah. That's
it's unreal.
Yeah.
Unreal. Absolutely unreal. But on Kings Row, he had a beautiful sleep dart on an ulting McCree from Lunatic High, which allowed Who Are You, who was their DPS player, on Genji. He ulted, got a couple kills, and they didn't even touch that sleeping McCree. They let him take a good nap. So then Who Are You ended up killing him at the end because he missed the flashbang. They were able to take the point. Eska, who's on Lunatic High, he had a very, very, very clutch ult to clean up when they were on defense on the first point, which honestly, if it wasn't for that, they probably would have lost it. So Lunatic High ends up taking the win, and it was impressive because for being the number 1 team in Korea, they were actually the underdog in this because of those
what
2
just
players.
happened, right? Because
so they were actually the underdog, but they just had a roster change. They looked incredibly strong.
So despite being in a swirling vortex of drama and some roster turnover right before this, they were still able to come out with the victory.
Yeah.
Despite all that.
Yeah. And looked really strong. Like, shaky at times, but more strong than shaky. And so I think as the season goes too, that because this is their second game, but it was their first one since all this happened.
Right.
This roster change and all this drama. So I think that they're gonna look good for the rest of the season too.
As things settle down.
Yeah. And they were extremely excited for winning a match, even though it's just, this is the second match of the season.
Yeah.
But they were just so excited because of all this happening.
Everything that went down.
Yes, they knew that they still had it in them because they're still the top players. And they're going to be really good. And just to get to see Shehung, I will pronounce this name correctly at some point. Like, getting to watch him again play Ana, like I said, he 1v2'd those, like, 2 tanks. Unreal. And also it was nice to see there was no Western team that played last week. It was all Korean teams.
Okay.
The patch that went through did start to change the meta. You didn't see any team run 4 tanks, which was finally good. You did see a lot of teams run still 3 tanks. You had, the standard Reinhardt, and then it would alternate between Diva, Winston, and Roadhog, but you'd always see a Zarya also. So those 2 were like the main staples, but then you'd have kind of like a rotation of the third one. Sometimes they wouldn't even run a third one depending on the map and how they were going. But I was happy to see that they had moved away from that 3 tank meta. So that was it for OGN Apex.
Okay.
Over in Europe, they had a EU only tournament. It was held by Strivewire. Mostly unknown teams, except for the new Dignitas roster because they came back into the scene.
Okay.
And X Reunited, which I don't understand because it's still Reunited, which was a player-owned org, but now they're calling themselves X Reunited. Either way, though, I don't get it. But either way, though, both teams seem to like roll pretty easily through it. It's just a monthly tournament, so it's not like there was like a lot on the line, but they needed these tournaments. They rolled through pretty easily until they met each other in the playoffs. X Reunited beat Dignitas in the playoffs. X Reunited ended up winning the whole thing with Dignitas taking 3rd.
Okay.
But it was just good because, one, Europe needs more tournaments because they're weaker in that sense. And it was just good to see these teams play, especially Dignitas coming back.
It's nice to have a big org back into the scene.
Right. So and I believe some of the players, too, are some of the original players that were on the team. And then they just got a couple new ones and
there you go.
Made some changes.
We're back.
Yeah.
The band is back.
The band is back.
Welcome back.
So that's it for Overwatch. On to Hearthstone. It was a very, very quick, short week.
Okay.
Trinity series continued. There were 3 teams that were still undefeated at the time. It was G2, Luminosity, and Complexity Gaming. Complexity and Luminosity faced each other. So that would determine one of those.
Okay.
G2 played Cloud9 and lost. So one of those undefeated teams now was defeated.
Yeah.
They were 2-1. The other teams were still 2-0. They faced each other, but both teams when they played, they went the full 11 rounds. It was every single both series so far. Yeah. So leading into this match, people were expecting that to happen again too, and it did. And Complexity ended up winning it 6-5. It was a very, very hard fought match. You saw a lot of strong decks come out and counter each other. You saw again Anyfin Paladin. You saw Miracle Rogue. I know you like that. You saw Miracle Rogue come out and do really well. Mm-hmm. So now Complexity is the only undefeated team, sitting at 3-0. G2 and LG are 2-1, and then everyone else is 1-2 or 0-3.
Yikes!
Yeah, but I think it's pretty good to see some of this team play in Hearthstone. Yeah. Also, it's a lot of fun.
Oh, it's a nice different aspect to a game that's very
just single person based. So it's nice to see it like this. And coming up are the Winter Championship playoffs.
Okay.
So I believe this weekend, as you're hearing this upcoming weekend is Europe, followed by NA, followed by other regions. So we're heading towards Bahamas. Get that championship down there.
There we go.
And
nice little vacation.
Yeah.
You want a vacation? Start grinding Hearthstone.
Yeah. you could.
There you go.
Could. So yeah, pretty easy week in Hearthstone. Actually, that was about it.
All right, good.
So
that about wraps it up.
That wraps it up for the news. So why don't we tell these people where they can find us
on the interwebs?
You
can follow me on Twitter at powerup_bags. You can catch me streaming. Typically Heroes of the Storm, but I play other Blizzard titles as well as I'll do some builder games. That'll be over at twitch.tv/bags, BAHGZ. I don't have a set schedule in stone yet, but typically I run 10 in the morning till about 1 in the afternoon most days of the week if I'm not busy. Still working on that. I'd like to do that consistently, but it's a WIP, man. It's a work in progress. How about you? Where can the interwebs follow you, man?
On the Twitters, find me at Sean Mess, and on the Twitches, which I'm starting to get into. I'm also trying to figure out a schedule for streaming, but twitch.tv/Gwaz, GHWOZZ, I believe it is, of one of my billion variations of Gwaz. And
Google it.
You can follow us on YouTube. You can subscribe, turn on your notifications. The info for that will be in the description of this episode too, because we don't have a designated URL yet.
Yeah, we need 100 subscribers to get that.
Yes.
So,
and
subscribe.
And you can follow the show on Twitter at the Weekly Blizz. And for that, we are signing off for the week. See ya.
Peace out.
You know, the world could always use more heroes.